Students, am I audible?
Yes.
Students, am I audible?
Now audible.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Udar, am I audible? Okay. But I can't hear you. Vindya, am I audible?
No, sir.
No, I know that you guys can hear me, but I can't hear all of you when you're speaking. Can someone speak, please?
Sir, can you hear? Hello?
No, sir.
Sir, can you hear?
Sir, sir.
Can hear.
Am I audible now?
Sir, no.
Udar.
Sir, කියන එක ඇහෙනවා. Sir ගේ බලන්න අතන මේ මයික්‍රොෆෝන් එකේ ස්පීකර් කියන එක sir ගේ මොකද සිලෙක්ට් කළාද? ඒක sir ගේ මේ sir මයික්‍රොෆෝන් එකකින්ද යන්නේ මේ ඒ කියන්නේ හෙඩ්ෆෝන් දෙකක්ද
No,
නැත්නම්
නෑ මම මේ සාමාන්‍ය ලැප්ටොප් එක දාලා තියෙන්නේ.
ඔව් ඒකේ බලන්න sir පට සවුන්ඩ් එක
ඔය එකේ තියෙන මයික්‍රොෆෝන් let's speak. Am I audible now?
ඔව් so audible sir කියන එක ඇහෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ sir කියන එක අපිට ඇහෙනවා.
ඔව් but මට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියන එක ඇහෙන්නේ නෑනේ.
ඒක sir චුට්ටක් බලන්න අතන මයික්‍රොෆෝන් මෝඩ් කියලා එකක් තියෙනවද? microphone, speaker and microphone modes කියලා තුනක්.
ස්පීකර් එකේ තියෙනවා ටෙස්ට් ස්පීකර්, මයික්‍රොෆෝන් තියෙනවා, audio profile.
Microphone mode. Audio settings.
Now is it audible?
Yes.
Yeah, but I can't.
පොඩ්ඩක් ලීව් වෙලා රීජොයින් වෙන්න බලන්න පුළුවන්ද?
පුළුවන්. ඔව් ඊට Right. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
All right, okay, fine. Alok, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Sorry, so technical issue. Hold on for a second. Right. Okay. Right. Good evening, student. Am I audible? Aloka, am I audible? Right. Okay.
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay. So fine. So we do have altogether approximately 15 students in the discussion itself. So let's see how far we can go. Right. Okay. So when you look at from the broader perspective, are there any students who are joining apart from the students who basically bought vLearning? vLearning ගත්තේ නැති වෙන කවුරු කෙනෙක් join වෙනවද? Anyone else? Okay. Right. Okay. So I hope that you got the paper to your hand as of now. So let's proceed with the discussion. So let me share the screen. I'm sorry, I'm not well, so I do have a concern with regard to my voice. Right. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, can all of you see the screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So welcome back to the risk control and audit discussion of AAT final level. So basically, when you look at from the broader perspective, your paper consists of, as you already know, the pilot paper already issued by the institute. So your paper basically consists of three sections. So section A, section B, and section 3. So as you already know, section A is basically having 4 questions. Clear. Section A basically having 4 questions where the total allocated marks would be 20 marks. Then when you go to section B, there are 3 questions. The total allocated marks would be 10 marks each, so that you will be having 30 marks. Then apart from that, you will be having 2 questions in section C where you will be having 25 marks each. So all of you went through the pilot paper. Okay, can all of you see the pilot paper? Okay, I wanted the two-way communication. So if not, this will not work. Right. So as AAT Institute clearly explained, so there are 3 sections: section A, section B, and section C. So basically, section A consists of 4 questions where you will be having 5 marks for a question, so that the total allocated marks would be 20 marks. And when you go to section B, you will be having 3 questions. So those 3 questions are compulsory. So 10 marks for a question, so that you will be having altogether 30 marks there. Then you will be having section C, that is basically again 2 compulsory questions where 50 marks for the section, where 25 marks each for the paper itself, for a question itself. Right. Okay. So based on that, I have prepared a model paper for you to have a detailed understanding with regard to the theoretical aspects that that the institute will going to test at the exam. So at the very outset, I just want to highlight a very important point here. So rather than discussing the paper straight away, so let me take a few minutes. So as you already know, if you want to pass the exam, so the cutoff mark would be 50, where you need to obtain 50 out of total 100 marks for you to pass the exam. Right. So if you want to pass the exam, so whatever the marks which you're obtaining from section A and section B would be really crucial. So section A, you have basically 4 questions, 5 marks each, 20 marks for the section. So section A basically consists of 100% theory. So whatever the theories which you are learning in the classroom will be tested as it is at the exam. Class එක ඉගෙනගන්න theory එක ඒ විදිහට exam එක test කරනවා when it's come to the section A. So scoring section A is much of a easy task compared to other 2 sections. So therefore, students, remember you need to get the maximum out of section 20. So if you can get at least 18 or more, okay, I would say 20 out of 20 would be the ideal. But if you can take 18 or more for section A, that means I would say you are 50% through the exam. Clear? So you have gone, if you take 19 marks or 18 marks out of 20, I would say you are done with the cutoff mark. Then when you go to section B, so you will be having 3 questions where 30 marks each. So it is basically a combination of theory plus practical both. Clear? It is a combination of theory plus practical both. It may not easy as much as you think as section A, but that is also manageable. So altogether, section A and section B basically consist of 50 marks. No? Section A ka section B ka ගත්තොත් ලකුණු 50ක් තියෙනවා. So out of that 50 marks, I would say if you can score minimum 40 or more than 40, I think you should not worry about the exam. If you can score minimum 40 or plus, 45 would be ideal. If you can score minimum 40 marks for section A and B, which is basically consist of 50 marks, I would say you should not worry about the exam. A section A එකටයි B එකටයි ලකුණු 40කට හැප්පෙන්න දාගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඔය exam එකේට worry වෙන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. Because your cutoff mark is 50, no? So your cutoff mark is 50. So that you will be only having 10 marks to achieve for you to come to the cutoff level. But if you are in between 30 to 40, for section A and section B, if you are in between 30 to 40, I would say you are in the middle. I would say you are in the middle. Or ලකුණු 30යි 40 නම් තියෙනවා ඉන්නේ බැට උඩ වගේ. Clear? But if you got less than 30 marks, if you got less than 30 marks, I'm sorry to say, you are in the fail zone. Or ලකුණු 30කට වඩා අඩු වෙන්නම් තියෙන section A එකටයි B එකටයි, then you are in the fail zone. Clear? So therefore, you need to try your level best to get as much as possible marks for section A and B. So your entire result is depending on the achievement of section A and B. Clear? Right? Are we clear up to that point? Are we clear up to that point? Who are you ready to speak? Okay, are we clear up to that point? Yeah, you can unmute and ask anything. Huh? Right, මම කීප එක තේරුණාද? Right, okay. Fine, so let me straight away go to the paper itself then. Right, okay. Can all of you see the screen? Can all of you see the screen? Right, okay. So we'll go to question number 1, okay, which is in section A. ABC Private Limited appointed Skymax Associates, a firm of chartered accountants, as their statutory auditor. The auditor is responsible for the audit of the financial statement and expressing an opinion as to the true and fair view of the financial statements, right? Okay, identify three parties involved in an assurance engagement. So who are the three parties who involved in assurance engagement? So we have discussed this assurance engagement topic. Okay, for you to determine whether it is an assurance engagement or not, what is the question that that you need to ask? You need to ask this question whether the crest is there or not. If the crest is there, if the answer is yes, then that is considered as an assurance engagement. Where the crest is no, if the answer is no, that is not considered as an assurance engagement. So crest stands for what? C stands for what? C stands for criteria. R stands for what? Report. E stands for what? Evidence. S stands for what? Subject matter. T stands for what? Tripartite relationship. So the question is asking who are the three parties who are involved in the assurance engagement. So who are the three parties who engage in the assurance engagement? Number one, you will be having the users of the financial statements. You will be having users of the financial statements. Number two, you will be having the responsible party. Responsible party, board of directors. Number three is considered as who? Practitioner. So those are the three parties. You will be having the users of the financial statements. You will be having the respective responsible party. Then you will be having the practitioner as well. So who are the users of the financial statements? So those are considered as stakeholders. Users of the financial statements are considered as stakeholders. Then you will be the responsible party who will be responsible for the preparation of the financial statement. So, in technical terms, board of directors and the management. And finally, you will be having a person called practitioner. That person is referred as who? Referred as the auditor. So, those are the three parties identified. You can identify it in an assurance engagement. Right? Clear? Are we clear? Uta, you need to speak. You need to unmute and speak. If not, this will not work.
Yes, sir.
Others, are we clear? If not, I'm just repeating. No point. Old laptop එකක් දිහා බලන් ඉන්නවා විතරයි. So if you do have a question, you need to ask. තේරුණා නම් තේරුණා කියප එක කියන්න. එතකොට so that I will be knowing that you got the point. Are we clear on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So we'll move to question number B. Okay. State two fundamental principles of code of ethics. Skymax Associates should demonstrate as the auditor of ABC Private Limited. So what are the fundamental principles? So in an assurance engagement, we learned. So when we are discussing SLA US 200, we discuss about several ethical requirements, starting from what? Starting from independence, integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality and professional behavior. So altogether, how many ethical principles are there? 6 ethical principles are there. So what are the 6 ethical principles? Independence, integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality and professional behavior. So out of those 6, you need to write down any 2. Clear? For you to get 2 marks. Okay, so the beauty of section A is this. So whatever the theories which you are learning in the classroom will be tested as it is at the exam. Class එක ඉගෙන ගන්න theory ටික ඒ විදිහටම exam එකේ test කරනවද නැද්ද? Exam එකේ test කරනවා. So therefore it is very much important for you to score at least 18 marks for section A. Clear? Right. I'm not going to give you the answers for all these stuff. So these are straightforward ones. But there are a few complicated questions so that we will be discussing the answers as well. Right. Okay, so question 1 is done. Right, move to question number 2. XYZ Private Limited is engaged in the business of selling mobile phones. The business is affected by both internal and external risk. So when you see this word, you need to identify the area where the examiner is going to test. He's going to test about what? Risk. Right. The company cannot completely avoid the risk. Right. So business organizations cannot completely avoid the risk. Right. Okay. State 3 internal risk. State 3 internal risk that may be affecting XYZ private limited. So when you look at my TUT risk management framework, we discuss about 4 types of internal risks. So what are the 4 types? Number 1, you will be having operational risk. Number 2, fraud risk. Number 3, compliance risk. Number 4, reputational risk. So those are the 4 types of internal risk: operational risk, fraud risk, compliance risk, and the reputational risk. So out of those 4, you need to write down 3. Right. Then list 2 types of techniques that may be used to mitigate the risk of XYZ private limiters. Right. So when we are discussing about the risk management framework, we discuss about several techniques. So we discuss about 4 techniques. So out of those 4, you write down 3. Sorry, 2. Okay. So what is the first risk? What is the first technique? Risk avoidance. Risk avoidance. Number 2, risk transfer. Then number 3, risk acceptance. Number 4, risk minimization. So those are the 4 types of techniques where you can use to manage the risk. Clear? So as you already know, internal risk, it is within the control of the business organization, but external risk, which is not in the control of the business organization. So despite whether it is internal or external, despite whether it is controllable or not, business organization should try their level best to manage the risk. So therefore, when we are discussing the risk management framework, we discuss about 4 techniques that can be used. So the question is asking 2. So what are the 4 techniques? Risk avoidance technique, risk transfer technique, risk acceptance, plus risk minimization. So out of those 4, we discuss risk minimization would be the mostly used technique. අවදානම අවම කරගන්නවා කියන එක තමයි අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට use කරන technique එක වෙන්නේ. But remember, there are 4 types of techniques. So you write down any 2 out of those 4. Clear? Yes or no? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Right, then we'll go to question number 3. So then you need to write down. So question number 1 basically tested from ethical requirements. Clear? Section number 1 basically checks from ethical requirements. Question number 2 basically check from risk and risk management framework. මේ දෙක ලියාගන්න. මොකද exam එකේදී ගොඩක් questions එන්න පුළුවන් area දෙකක්. Ethical requirements, definitely there will be a question. Then risk and the risk management framework. Right, question number 3. Direction, supervision, and review are the policies and procedures that may be considered for quality control of the individual audits. So when you see the word this, when you see this word, you need to understand the area where the examiner is going to test. Question number 3, he is mainly focusing on the quality control. තත්ත්වපාලනය කියලා අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තේ. Right. The engagement partner is ultimately responsible for the quality control of an individual audit. So these are theory. Engagement partner will be responsible for the quality control of the individual audit, right? Okay, the question asking, state 3 matters which audit partner should communicate to the members of the audit team under direction. So what are the 3 matters that the engagement partner should communicate under the direction? So what do you mean by direction? Direction is basically an area where the engagement partner needs to give proper update with regard to the engagement team. So they are talking about the direction. Number 2, state 2 functions include under the supervision when considering the audit. Clear? Right. So those are basically 100% theory. Clear? 100% theory. So they are talking about the direction and they are talking about supervision. Right. So if you go to my attitude quality control, if you can go to quality control, you can see the answer. Right. That's what I'm asking. So are there any students who are joining here today who is not purchase our vLearning packages? අද මේ ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉන්නවද vLearning අරගත්තේ නැති JMC vLearning අරගත්තේ නැති කවුරු කෙනෙක් join වෙලා ඉන්නවද මේ discussion එකට? Because there are so many theories which we discuss in the classroom, so I'm not going to write down all this stuff because I can give you the reference. එකම මම අහන්නේ කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද කියලා. So are there any students who are joining for this session without joining with vLearning or without joining physically with JMC? Okay, can you just wave your hands? කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද කියලා බලන්න. Okay, Petmin. Okay, Petmin can talk for a minute.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, are you self-studying or have you purchased any other packs?
No, sir, I'm self-study.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, but have you studied what do you call quality control in study pack?
Not yet, sir.
Okay. So there is a separate chapter in study pack referring as quality control, so that you can refer that segment for you to get the answer. So the question is very clear. Question is asking you to write down 3 matters. 3 matters that the audit partner should communicate to the members of the engagement team. The audit partner communicate කරන්න ඕනේ areas මොනවද audit team එකට. So I'll give you a short and simple answer. So number 1, so you, as an engagement partner, you need to communicate the objectives of the procedures performed. Clear? You need to communicate the objectives of the audit procedures. Number 2, as an engagement partner, you need to communicate the areas where the potential problems can be arise, because as an engagement partner, you are the most experienced person. So therefore, you need to update your audit team with regard to the areas where the special attention needs to be devoted to. Clear? So likewise, so there are things that as the engagement partner, you need to clearly communicate to your audit team under the direction. So the question is asking, you need to write down 3. Then state 2 factors included in the supervision when conducting an audit. Now supervision level එකේදී මොනවද බලන්න ඕන factors. So as the engagement partner, when the audit is coming to the supervision level, when the audit is coming to the supervision level, there are 2 things that you need to focus. Number 1, you need to obtain an understanding with regard to the matters. With regard to the matters which is identified by the audit team. Identified by the audit team. දැන්ටමත් audit team එක අඳුනාගෙන තියෙන issue එකක් තියෙනවා නම්, so as an engagement partner at the supervision level you need to check that. Clear? Then you need to monitor the progress. At the supervision level you need to monitor the progress. You need to monitor the progress. So those are the two answers for part B of section C. Right, are we clear on question number 3 as well? So those are straightforward. Those are basically covered in the vLearning platform itself. Right, others, are we clear? Terunada?
Sir, could you explain the first part of question 3, the A, part A again?
Sorry, come again.
The question 3, there's the part A. There's something 3 to write.
Yeah, so okay, can I give the answer for that?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Number 1. Okay, you can take down number 1. Explaining the objectives of the audit procedures. Explaining the objectives of the audit procedures. Number 2, give an overall understanding to the engagement team. Give an overall understanding to the engagement team. With regard to the areas. With regard to the areas. Where the potential problems can arise. Where the potential problems can arise. Number 3, clearly communicate the reporting deadlines. Clearly communicate the reporting deadlines. And areas where the high attention needed to be devoted to. Right. Have you got the point?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Okay, we go to question number 4. So question number 3 also done. Question number 4. Kamal is an audit manager of ABC Associates, a firm of chartered accountants. He explained Namal, the senior in charge of the audit of Sunimal Private Limited, that the auditor's report of this company cannot be finalized without getting the management representation and receivable confirmation from debtors. Now they are talking about management representation and receivable confirmation. So management representation basically we covered in SLS 580, and they are talking about the debtors confirmation as well. Okay, state 2 instances in which the representations are necessary. State 2 instances where the management representations are necessary. So in theory, this question is basically talking about what? Talking about the definition of management representations. මේ check කරන්නේ management representations වල definition එක. Clear? So when you are describing the definition of management representation, it clearly indicates two instances. So the examiner is talking about that. Okay, so if you do have my tute, go to SLS 580, which is referred as written representation, so that the definition itself consists of the two instances where they looked at. Clear? Right. Then someone, an audit junior, has informed Kamal that only 3 responses have been received out of the 35 receivable balance confirmation called. So you call for 35 confirmations. Out of that 35, you got only 3. Explain the instances to be given to someone in this regard by Kamal. So you call for confirmation for 35 debtors, whereas you got the feedback from only 3, which is not adequate. ඒක ප්‍රමාණවත් නැහැ. So then what can you do? Then you need to perform alternative procedures. You need to perform alternative procedures. So what is the first alternative procedure? So you call for confirmation for 3 people, but you got only confirmation from 3. So you call for 35, but you got 3. Then the first thing is what? You need to send a reminder. මේ ඔක්කොම කට්ටියට ආයි පාර reminder එකක් දාලා you can highlight that matter. Then number 2, you need to check what? Subsequent settlements. ඔන්න මොකද check කරන්නේ? Subsequent settlements check කරන්න වෙනවා. Clear? So we discuss this subsequent settlement story when we are discussing which topic? Internal controls. When we are discussing internal controls, we discuss this as well. Clear? Right. So when we are discussing internal control tube, we looked at 2 aspects. Number 1, internal control implemented by the board of directors. Number 2, audit procedures performed by the board of directors. Sorry, audit procedures performed by the auditor. So the question is saying you have called for confirmation for 35, but you got only 3. So then the results that you obtain is not adequate. That is number 1. Then what you need to do? First thing is that you can send a reminder. දැන් 35කට call කරලා 3 දෙනයි නම් එව්වේ තා 32ක් කියවලා නැහැ. Then you can call for you can send a reminder. Look here, I have sent a letter on this date asking the confirmation from you guys, but you haven't replied. So I'm sending this reminder. Can you please reply to me? That is number 1. Number 2, right, despite whether that 35 data settle their, share their confirmations, you can go back and check the subsequent settlements. අපි කියන්නේ පසුපීම් පරීක්ෂා කරනවා කියන්නේ. So that you can check the subsequent settlements of all those 32 debtors after the balance sheet date to make sure that they have settled something which is outstanding as of 31st March 2025. තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir. So could you tell for the first one the answers? Name 2.
Sorry?
For the question number 4, part A answers.
Okay, question number 4, part A. So you are referring to management representations?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So let me go to my tutes so that are you a vLearning student or joining outside?
Outside, sir.
Okay. 1 minute. Okay, so let me go to the screen. Okay, can you see the screen?
No, sir.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is basically my tute written representation SLS 580. Clear? SLS 580. Right. So this would be the answer. So what do you mean by written representation? A written statement provided by the management to provide to the auditor to confirm certain matters. So you are providing the representation to confirm certain matters or to support other audit evidences. So you are basically giving representation number one to confirm certain matters. That is number one. Number two, to support to other audit evidences. So what do you mean by this? To confirm certain matters. So let's say there is a third party filed a case against the company asking for a liquidation damage. Third party ga ඔයාට විරුද්ධව නඩුවක් දාලා දෙනවා වන්දි මුදලක් ඉල්ලලා. So let's say the requested damage would be 500 million. මිලියන 500ක් ඉල්ලලා නඩුවක් දාලා තියෙනවා. So as of 31st March, let's say the final conclusion hasn't come. You also counterfile a case. Now the hearing is going on. 31st March එනකොටත් අන්තිම result එක මොකක්ද කියන එක decision එක ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ. Right. So then exactly who know the current status of the legal case? Management. So you know that there is a matter for you to reconfirm it. You are basically obtaining representation from the management. Clear? Number two, to support any other audit evidences that you have obtained. Because when you are performing your audit procedures, you may be obtain so many audit evidences. So in order to support your audit evidence, so you may require a representation from the management. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir.
Right. Are we clear on this?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. Okay. So that is why I told you. So this thing, this definition, so the answer for this question is included in the tute itself. මේ tute එකෙන් මේක තියෙනවා. Right. Okay. So are we clear on the first four questions? Right. So the example that I need to give is all these four questions. Theory will be tested 100%. So whatever the theories which you are learning in the classroom will be tested as it is at the exam. හරි තේරුණාද මේ part එක?
Yes, sir.
Right. Any questions up to this point? මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න බලන්න මේ point එකට වෙනකම්. Any questions? You're free to ask any questions. So you can unmute and you can ask any question. Right. So if you don't have any questions, so we'll go to section B. Okay. Can all of you see the section B? Question number 5.
Yes, sir.
Right. So we'll go to question number 5 and see. So now section A, you will get to know that section A basically, I would say 100% theory. Section A එක කියලා කියන්නේ 100% theory. Theories are tested 100%. So section B would be a combination of theory plus practical. Theory plus practical, right? Okay. I wanted you to spend 2 to 3 minutes and understand question number 5. Right? Question number 5 එක කියවලා පොඩ්ඩක් තේරුම් ගන්න බලන්න මොකක්ද අහන්නේ කියලා. Just read. Right. Have you read the question? Okay, so let's go to the question. You are the senior in charge of the audit of Nulin Associates, a firm of chartered accountants, which conducts the audit of the financial statement of Malsara Private Limited for the year ended 31st December 2025. Right. So when you get a question like this, so first of all, don't panic to answer straight away. එකපාරට මේකට උත්තර ලියන්න ලෑස්ති වෙන්න එපා. So you will analyze the question. So your accounting period ending from 31st December. What does that mean? Your accounting period starting from 1st of January 2024 and ending from 31st December 2024. So that means you're auditing 2024 financial year, right? The following informations which included in the audit file. Audit materiality at the planning stage is 1.7 million. Materiality at the planning stage comes to 1.7 million. So straight away, they are talking about SLA US 320 audit materiality. So the materiality is how much? 1.7 million. So this 1.7 million question does not specifically mention whether it is planning materiality or not. So therefore, we'll assume that this is overall material level. We need to assume that this is overall materiality level. Planning materiality na කියනවා. Performance materiality කියන එක නම් කියනවා. Not the planning materiality, performance materiality. So, but they have not mentioned about the performance materiality, so that we will be assuming that this 1.7 million is overall materiality, right? The company completed the construction of an office building on 1st of October 2024. So 1st of October 2024. 1st of October 2024, they have basically completed a construction of an office building, and it was available for use from that date onwards. Available for use condition. So after 9 months of the current financial year, so that is available for use for 3 months. The cost of the construction of the building is 120 million, right? So the building cost is how much? Building cost is 120 million. Cost of the building 120 million, right? Buildings are depreciated over 30 years on the straight line basis at cost. So the buildings are depreciated for 30 years. That means if you take the depreciation for a year, comes to how much? Comes to 4 million. Our depreciation is 4 million. Clear? Right. Now the concern arises. Make question unknown. So now the asset is available for use for a period of 3 months. The asset is available for use for a period of 3 months. So then, if you do have 4 million for an entire financial year's depreciation for the 3 months period, which is starting from October to December, so what would be the depreciation impact? 1 million depreciation at the end. Clear? Got it? Okay, ඔක්කොමලට එක තේරුණාද? තේරුණ නැත්තම් කියන්න තේරුණ නැහැ කියලා. Have you got the point?
No, sir. No, sir. Can you tell it again?
Right. Okay. So for an example, what is the cost of the building, Puta? 120 million. Right. So the question says the company will be depreciating the building over 30 years. If you make a TM bedor for a year, what would be the annual depreciation charge? අවුරුද්දට annual depreciation charge එක කීයද?
4 million.
4 million. 4 million. 4 million would be the annual depreciation charge. Right. So this building is available for use from which date onwards? කවදද use කරන්න ගන්න පුළුවන්?
October 1st.
October 1st. Then in 2024 financial year, this building has to be depreciated for how many months?
3 months.
3 months. ඒක තමයි මේ 1 million කියලා කියන්නේ.
Yes.
තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right, okay. 1 minute, I'm getting a call. 1 minute. Right, sorry. Right, are we clear up to that point? තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. This new building was opened in January 2025, 1st of January 2025. So the new building is opened on 1st of Jan 2025. Building open කරලා තියෙන්නේ ජනවාරි 31. Sorry, ජනවාරි 1 වෙනිදා 2025. And depreciation was charged from that date by the company. That is wrong. So the depreciation charge කරන්න පටන් ගන්න තියලා තියෙන්නේ 2025 ජනවාරි 1 වෙනිදා ඉඳලා. So that is basically a clear deviation of LK16. LK16 කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Property plant and equipment accounting standard. So LK16 says you need to depreciate the asset when the asset is available for use. A asset එක available for use condition එක ඉඳන් තමයි depreciate කරන්න ගන්න ඕනේ. Whether you use it or not is a different story. But that asset is available for use from 1st of October 2024 onwards. So therefore, for 2024 financial year, you need to depreciate that building for a value of 1 million. තේරුණාද? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we do have a concern here. So we do have a concern of under depreciation of how much? 1 million for 2024 financial year. Right? ඒක තේරුණාද ඔක්කොමලට?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then the company has capitalized the borrowing cost of rupees 1.5 million from 1st of October to 31st December. මේ මොකද්ද මේ කියන්නේ? The company has capitalized the borrowing cost of 1.5 million from 1st of October 2024 to 31st December. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙන්න මෙදා ඉඳන් මෙන්න මෙදාට මාස 3කට borrowing cost එක capitalize කරලා තියෙනවලු 1.5 million. So what is the accounting standard that they are going to talk about? LKS 23 borrowing cost. So what the standard says? Remember students, you are not in a position to answer the audit paper if you don't know the accounting standards. Accounting standards දන්නේ නැතුව audit paper එකට උත්තර ලියන්න බෑ. So if you don't understand LKS 16, you are gone. හරිද? If you don't understand LKS 16 in this question, you are gone. If you don't understand LKS 23 in this question, you are gone. So what LKS 23 states? So the company can capitalize the interest cost which is applicable for a qualifying asset. So qualifying asset so that you need to refer LKS 23. Clear? So if you are incurring a finance cost for a qualifying asset, you can capitalize it. But the building is no more considered as a qualifying asset after 1st of October because that is available for use. So therefore, this 1.5 million value cannot be capitalized and that has to be charged to P&L. මේක P&L එකට charge කරන්න ඕනේ. Because the asset is available for use from 1st of October onwards. October පළවෙනිදා මේ asset එක available for use තියෙනවා. So then you can't capitalize. Clear? Qualifying status will be ending from 30th September 2024. So from 1st of October, that building is not considered as a qualifying asset. So therefore, this 1.5 million interest cost, you can't capitalize, that has to be charged to P&L. So now there will be issue of interest cost again amounts to 1.5 million. තේරුණාද? Clear? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Right. My question is this. Is this, sorry, misstatements are corrected or not corrected? These two misstatements corrected or not corrected? මේවා correct කරලාද තියෙන්නේ, correct කරලා නැද්ද? correct කරලාද තියෙන්නේ, correct කරලා නැද්ද? You need to refer SLS 320 ah. මේක අරගෙන බලන්න ඕනේ. These are referred as uncorrected misstatement. Okay. So what is the total value of the uncorrected misstatement? 1 million and 1.5 million. So altogether, this comes to how much? 2.5 million. So if you take this one separately, understand the logic. If you take this depreciation 1 million separately and interest capitalization 1.5 million separately, that is below the 1.7 million level. මේ වැරදි දෙක uncorrected misstatement දෙක එක එක වෙන වෙනම ගත්තොත් that is below the material level because your material level is how much? 1.7 million. හරිද? ඒක මෙතන ලියුවානේ. එතන මේ issues දෙකම වෙන වෙනම ගත්තාම 1.7 වලට අඩුයි. But if you take these two together, that is what you referred as aggregate. Aggregate කියන්නේ මේ දෙකම එකතු කරලා ගත්තොත්, so what would be the value? 2.5 million, which is surpassing the initially decided material level of how much? 1.7. So that's what the question is asking for 5 marks. Clear? Assess the above matter on the audit opinion of Malsar Private Limited financial statements. Okay, is it material? Yes, it is material. Then the second question is asking, recognize the type of audit opinion to be expressed by the auditor. මොකක්ද express කරන්න ඕනේ? Opinion type එක. So that is basically tested in SLAS 700. So what would be the opinion type? What would be the opinion type? That has to be a modified opinion. That has to be modified opinion under disagreement with management. You are disagreeing with management with regard to accounting policy that has been used by the company. Accounting policy which is applicable for depreciation and capitalization of borrowing cost. So therefore, you are going for a modified opinion. තේරුණාද? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay. Do I need to give the answer or can you take down the answer on your own? Or පුළුවන් ද ලියා ගන්න නැත්නම් මම answer එක දෙන්න දෙය question එකට. What if
ආන්සර් එක දුන්නා නම් හොඳයි. ආන්සර් එක දුන්නා නම් හොඳයි.
Right. Okay. So we'll take down the answer. Okay. Right, so I'll give you the answer in point form. Okay. Right. The company should have depreciated. The company should have depreciated. The company should have depreciated the building from 1st October, from 1st October 2024 to 2024 to 31st December 2024. 31st December 2024. Since the asset was available for use for the company, since the asset is available for use for the company. Therefore, for 2024 financial year, therefore, for 2024 financial year, there should be a building depreciation amounting to rupees 1 million. There should be a building depreciation amounting to rupees 1 million. There should be a building depreciation amounting to rupees 1 million for 2024 financial year. For 2024 financial year. However, management has not depreciated the building. Management has not depreciated the building for 2024 financial year. Right. A separate para. The company shouldn't have capitalized the borrowing cost. The company shouldn't have capitalized the borrowing cost. The company shouldn't capitalize the borrowing cost from 1st October. From 1st October, since the construction is completed. Since the construction is completed. Therefore, rupees 1.5 million interest charge. Rupees 1.5 million interest charge. Therefore, rupees 1.5 million interest charge needed to be charged to PNL. Needed to be charged to PNL. Whereas it is capitalized by the management. Which is capitalized by the management. Separate para. All these two errors all these two errors are uncorrected in the financials. Are uncorrected in the financials. Even though when we take those errors individually, even though when we take those errors individually, even though when you take those two errors individually, even though when you take those two errors individually, so cut down the work even though කියන වචන අයින් කරන්න. When you take those two errors individually, even though it is not material, even though වචන ඉස්සරහට එන්න ඕනේ, even though it is not material, when consider both misstatements together, when consider both misstatements together, within brackets you can say in aggregate, within brackets you can say in aggregate, close brackets, it is material to the financial statements. It is material to the financial statements. Therefore, the auditor should request the management. Therefore, the auditor should request the management. Therefore, the auditor should request the management to rectify that misstatements in the financial statements. To rectify the misstatements in the financial statements. If the management is not willing to rectify, if the management is not willing to rectify, if the management is not willing to rectify, then the auditor should express a modified opinion. Auditor should express a modified opinion. Auditor should express a modified opinion. Clear? That modification will be done, additional para, that modification will be done under the basis of disagreement with management. Under the basis of disagreement with management. Within brackets, you can say refer SLAUS 700 video. You can say refer SLAUS 700 video. Right, are we clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Okay, then we'll go to part B of the question. Recognize the audit opinion that should be expressed if the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences. A different question. If the auditor unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences, that leads to what? Leads to a scope limitation. ඒකත් SLS 700 වල කතා කරා. This leads to a scope limitation. So if the scope limitation is material, then you go for a qualified opinion. And if the scope limitation is both material and pervasive, then you go for a disclaimer. Clear? So again, that is included in my video itself. හරි ඒකට උත්තරය අවශ්‍යයිද නැත්නම් ඔයාලට ඒක ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඒක ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? පුතා, you need to answer. උත්තරය අවශ්‍යද ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? Right, okay. Fine. Okay, so we'll take down the answer. So if you wanted, you need to tell me. නැත්නම් මම දන්නේ නෑනේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ ඕනද නැද්ද කියන එක. Right, but I believe that you have gone through the vLearning, what you call videos. So everything has been covered in the vLearning platform. Right, so we'll take down the answer. If the auditor unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences, if the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences, if the auditor unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences, that leads to a scope limitation. That leads to a scope limitation. Where the auditor has to express, a modified opinion. If the scope limitation is material, but not pervasive, then the auditor will go for a qualified opinion. If the scope limitation is both material and pervasive, Then the auditor has to go for a disclaimer of opinion. Right. Okay. Read the answer. Harad, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, someone is asking, sir, is this SLUS 705? So basically 705 is the modification to audit report. Yes. Right. Okay. Fine. So the time is flying. Huh? Right. Okay. So we'll go to question number 6. Okay, we'll go to question number 6, which has two parts, right? I wanted you to try section A. Question number 6 වල section A එක විනාඩි 5ක් කරන් try කරන්න බලන්න. So I'll give you 5 minutes. Just try. Right, are we clear? Students, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. So we'll go to this question. Okay, ABC PLC is a quoted public company operated in the export industry, and the company exports its product to different customers located in Europe. Right, so the company is in the export industry where they are exporting goods to Europe. As per the latest available bill of lading, the company handed over the goods to the shipping company after the current financial year. So the company handed over the goods to the shipping company after the current financial year. And the company recognizes the revenue based on the export invoice, which has been raised during the financial year. As per the signed import and export agreement, the risk and rewards of the goods will be transferred to the customer upon ABC handing over the goods to the shipping company to export. Very valid point. As per the signed import and export agreement, the risk and rewards of the goods will be transferred to the customer upon ABC handing over the goods to the shipping company to export. However, when you highlighted this point to the finance manager of ABC PLC, he handed over a letter to you signed by the clearing agent of ABC company stating that the goods were handed over to the shipping company during the financial year. Very complex scenario. හරිද ටිකක් ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් parallelly සහගත point එක. Right. So the question is asking, you are the audit of ABC PLC and critically evaluate the above scenario. Okay. Can someone let me know this question has been tested from which standard? කවුරු කෙනෙක් කියන්න බලන්න මට මේ question එක test කරලා තියෙන මොන standard එකෙන්ද කියන්නේ? Yeah, someone is asking 705 update කරලා නැහැ කියලා, but it is inside 700 පුතා. Hero, now we clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yeah. So everything has been uploaded. ඒකට JMC එක ඒ chapter එක ඇතුලේ ඔක්කොම ටික update වෙලා තියෙනවා. So I'll ask them to split that to two items. හරිද? Right. Okay, can someone tell me from which standard this has been tested? මොන standard එකෙන්ද මේක check කරලා තියෙන්නේ? Any thoughts? No, it is not 315. What is the standard? Uh, 500. What is the SLS 500? Audit evidence. Audit evidence එකෙන් තමයි මේක check කරලා දෙන්නේ. So even though you basically feel that this is very complex, when you segregated this question into simple sentences, that would be very easy, right? So we'll analyze the question again. Okay, so the company is a quoted public company operated in the export industry, and the company exports the product to different customers in Europe, right? As per the latest bill of lading, the company handed over the goods to the shipping company after the current financial year. So as per bill of lading, goods handed over after the financial year. Goods hand over කළා තියෙන්නේ financial year එකෙන් පස්සේ. Clear? and the company recognizes the revenue based on the export invoice. So the company recognizes the revenue based on the export invoice. So now the concern arises whether it is correct to accept the revenue based on the export invoice. That would be the question. Export invoice එක base කරගෙන revenue එක ගත්ත එක හරිද? Clear? Right. So before you take the final call, you need to check whether at which point the risk and rewards are transferred. මෙතනදී බලන්න ඕන risk and rewards transfer වෙන්නේ මොන point එකේදීද කියන එක. ඒක බලන්න නැතුව you can't come to the final conclusion. Okay. Right. Then the question says, as per the signed import and export agreement, the risk and rewards of the goods will be transferred to the company upon ABC handing over the goods to the shipping agent. එහෙනම් ABC company එක shipping agent hand over කළාට පස්සේ තමයි goods වල risk and rewards එක transfer වෙන්නේ. Then recognizing the revenue based on the export invoice is wrong. That is wrong. So the revenue should be recognized based on what? Based on the bill of lading, because this is the point where risk and rewards are transferred. Terunad? Right. Now, there are two questions here. Number one, revenue recognition methodology. Revenue recognition methodology. Revenue recognition methodology, which is wrong. Clear? Then, time period, if not year. So the export invoice raised during the financial year. एक question एक කියනවා. Export invoice has been raised during the financial year. So therefore you recognize as the revenue in the current financial year, but as bill of lading, goods are handed over to the shipping company after the financial year. Then recognizing the revenue in the current financial year also wrong. ඒකත් වැරදි. ඒතර revenue recognition එකත් වැරදි. ඒත් එක්කම revenue recognize කරපු time එකත් වැරදි. Right, so you identified that. When you highlighted that issue to the finance manager, he handed over a letter to you signed by the clearing agent. බඩු නැවට පටන agent කෙනෙක් කියනවා clearing agent ගේ sign කරපු letter එකක් දෙනවලු. In that letter, the clearing agent says the goods have been handed over to the shipping company during the financial year. Goods ටික hand over කරේ during the financial year. So now, point number 2, you have a letter from shipping agent saying that goods are handed over to the shipping company in the current financial year. Right. Now the concern arises about two things. What is number one? Number one point that you need to highlight here is the reliability. Reliability of this letter. The reliability of this letter is less compared to bill of lading. Why? Because this is a letter given by the clearing agent. The clearing agent order their company to order the so therefore the reliability of this is basically less compared to bill of lading, because bill of lading is considered as an external document which has more reliability. Clear? Terunada?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then there is another important point. So now the letter says The letter says goods are handed over during the financial year. But bill of lading says after financial year. Uh, so now there is a contradicted situation. There is a contradicted situation because the letter says the goods are handed over to the shipping company during the financial year, but the bill of lading says goods are handed over to the shipping company after the financial year. So now, as an auditor, when you are obtaining audit evidences, if there is a contradicted situation between two or more audit evidences that you obtain, that is a point where your attention needs to be devoted to. විවිධ මූලාශ්‍රයන්ගෙන් සාක්ෂි රැස් කරගන්න ඕනේ. එක් පැත්තකින් ගන්න සාක්ෂියක් අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ගන්න සාක්ෂියක් එක්ක contradicted වුණොත් එකිනෙක හා ගැටුණොත් then you need to uh, keep focus, additional focus on that aspect as well. So that is the point where the examiner is going to test. Clear? මේක මම හරි ස්පෙසිෆිකලි කතා කරා SLS 500 කරනකොට. ඔන්න මගේ වීඩියෝ ලෙසන් එක අරගෙන බලන්න. Under SLS 500, the last point, auditor should obtain audit evidences from various sources. Audit evidences that the audit obtained from one source is getting contradicted with an audit evidences obtained from another source. That is the point where your attention needs to be devoted to. තේරුණාද? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Got it? ඒක question එක බැලුවම සෑහෙන අමාරුයි වගේ, but ඒ වුණාට question එක හරියට split කරගත්තා පස්සේ ඒක හරියට කෑලි වලට කඩාගත්තට පස්සේ question එක හරියම ලේසි. So for you to get 5 marks, මෙතන මේ තියෙන ලකුණු 5 ගන්න, you need to tackle 3 points. Points 3ක් ඔයා tackle කරන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? මොකද point number 1? What is the first point that you need to tackle? Tackle කරන්න පළවෙනි point එක තමයි මෙන්න මේ point එක. Number 1, this one. This is number 1. Number 2, you need to talk about the reliability. Number 3, you need to talk about this. Clear? තේරුණාද? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Paper එක ටිකක් අමාරුයිද? Tough වැඩි වගේද? Or is it good? No comments. Others, any thoughts? Right, okay. Do you need the answer or can you take down the answer on your own? ඔයාට උත්තරේ ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? උත්තරේ අවශ්‍යයිද? Okay, fine. So we'll take down the answer. Okay, we'll take down the answer. Based on the given scenario, the following matters to be addressed by the auditor. Following matters to be addressed by the auditor. Number 1, methodology of recognizing the revenue. Methodology of recognizing the revenue. Methodology of recognizing the revenue. Okay, under that you can take down. Based on the given facts, based on the given facts, since the risk and rewards are transferred, 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 upon handing over the goods to the shipping agent, upon handing over the goods to the shipping agent, upon handing over the goods to the shipping agent, comma, recognition of revenue based on the export invoice, recognition of revenue based on the export invoice, recognition of revenue based on the export invoice is not correct, is not correct. Number two, timing of the revenue recognition, timing of the revenue recognition. Okay, under that you can take down, since the risk and rewards are transferred after the financial year, since the risk and rewards are transferred after the financial year, recognition of the revenue in the current financial year, recognition of revenue in the current financial year seems to be inaccurate, seems to be inaccurate. Seems to be inaccurate. So therefore, the revenue should have been recognized. Therefore, the revenue should have been recognized. Therefore, the revenue should have been recognized. Therefore, revenue should have been recognized not in the current financial year, not in the current financial year. It should be recognized in the next financial year. Right. Number two, point number two, the auditor has to evaluate the reliability. Auditor has to evaluate the reliability. Auditor has to evaluate the reliability of the letter given by the company, given by the company, which is sign off, which is sign off by the clearing agent. since it is an internal document, since it is an internal document which has less reliability, which has less reliability, which has less reliability compared to bill of lading, compared to bill of lading. Number 3, based on all the above scenarios, based on all the above scenarios, all the above scenarios, it is evident that, it is evident that, it is evident that, it is evident that two audit evidences obtained by the auditor, two audit evidences obtained by the auditor is getting contradicted, is getting contradicted with each other, with each other. Therefore, as per SLA US 500, therefore, as per SLA US 500, therefore, as per SLA US 500, if the auditor obtain audit evidences, if the auditor obtain audit evidences which are contradicted to each other, which are contradicted to each other, it is a situation where, it is a situation where your attention needs to be devoted to, your attention needs to be devoted to. Right. Okay, are we clear with the answer?
Yes, sir.
Answer එක තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir.
Okay. ඔයාලට මේ discussion එක වැදගත්ද? තේරෙනවද කරන ප්‍රශ්න? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Understood well.
Okay. Right. Okay, so we'll go to part B of this question. I'll give you I'll give you 5 minutes again. Just read. I'm here, but you just read. So I will be erasing this. Huh? Just read the question. Okay, have you got the question? Question එක තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Again, sufficient and appropriateness are interrelated. It is applicable to the audit evidences obtained through risk assessment procedures, test of controls, and substantive procedures. Sufficient is applicable to the quantity of the audit evidences obtained, and appropriateness is applicable to the relevance, quality, and the reliability of the audit evidences obtained. So 100% SMS 500 theory. When conducting the audit, the auditor should obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidences from various sources, covering each and every applicable assertion. In practical, the auditor may obtain different audit evidences from different sources to cover the same assertion. Right. Again, this is 100% theory, which we discuss under SLS 500. Some sources are within the direct control of the auditor and some are not. Very valid point. Some sources are within the direct control of the auditor and some are not. Okay, so what are the sources where auditor is having a direct control? That's what the question is. Sources where the auditor has direct control. Sources where the auditor has a direct control. So what is your answer? Number one. What would be the first source? Audit evidences generated by the auditor externally. Audit evidences generated by the auditor externally, which has a direct control to you. Direct control to you. Number two, audit evidences generated by the auditor by himself. තමා විසින්ම ජනනය කරගත්ත සාක්ෂි. Again comes under the direct control. Clear? 1 minute. Right. Okay, are we clear? A points එක තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then number 2, what is number 2? Sources where the auditor does not have a control. I can when make L. මොකද ඒකට උත්තරේ? Audit evidences generated internally by the auditor. Audit evidences generated internally by the auditor. Right. So for an example, if you take an example, this one generated through external parties. Make an example එකක් තමයි external confirmations. External confirmations. මේකට example එකක් තමයි depreciation calculation, independent depreciation calculation done by the auditor by himself. Then this one internally obtain audit evidences. So therefore, let's say invoice, payment vouchers. Got it? So the question is saying, therefore, when considering the reliability and the quality, two important points. Reliability and quality of the audit evidences, the auditor has to look different aspects based on the sources of the audit evidences obtained. So I would say, if you wanted to rank this between 1, 2, and 3, make එක දෙක තුන කියලා rank කරන්න ඕනවා නම්, I will be putting number 1 here, where the reliability and the quality is high because those are externally generated audit evidences. Then I will put number 2 here. Audit evidences generated by the auditor himself. And I will be putting number 3 here. තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir.
So question is asking what? While considering the reliability and the quality of the audit evidences obtained. While considering the reliability and the quality of the audit evidences obtained from various sources, while giving examples, you are required to critically evaluate the above mentioned scenario. What is the answer? ඒ answer එක තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. Clear? තේරුණාද? Is it tough? Question එක tough ද? Is it tough? not after breakdown. ඒක තමයි මම කියන්නේ. breakdown කරගත්තට පස්සේ question එක අමාරු නෑ. clear? තේරුණාද? right. ඒකට උත්තරේ ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන් නේද? මම උත්තරේ දෙන්න අවශ්‍යයිද? උත්තරේ ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? okay, fine. Clear? right, okay. I wanted you to read question number 7 now. We might not be able to complete the entire paper පුතා. අපිට මේ 10 වෙනකොට මුළු paper එකම කරන්න බැරි වෙයි, but I'll try my level best to complete as much as possible. Right, read question number 7. Right, so before you go to question number 7, important point that I need to highlight. As I mentioned to you earlier, section B consists of what? Theory plus practical. තේරුණා? ඒක තමයි section B එක අරක තරම් ලේසි නෑ. section B basically theory plus practical. තේරුණාද? section 1 එක 100%ම theory. මේකේ කිසිම දෙයක් practical නෑ. This is 100% theory. But when you go to question section B, that is theory plus practical. And when you go to section C, I would say that is basically practical. Right. Okay, read question number 7 and see. I'll give you 5 minutes. Right. Okay. Are we clear on the question? Harida.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll go to the question. Stylish Dresses Private Limited sells locally manufactured apparel and apparel imported from Thailand. Stylish Dresses Private Limited sells locally manufactured apparel and apparel imported from Thailand on its 5 sales outlets. Purchases are made centrally. Very valid point. So the purchases are managed centrally. The ordered goods are directly delivered to the outlets. Ordered goods are directly delivered to the outlets, which is not a good practice. Each outlet has its own stock ledger. Purchase requirement is identified based on the sales forecast and each outlet and stock level of the each outlet, right? So the purchase requirement is basically identified based on the sales forecast, each outlet and stock level maintained at the outlet. In November 2023, the Percy managers placed an order from a new supplier identified by the general manager. Wrong approach. Supply evaluation. Supply evaluation. However, the shipment has not arrived up to 5th January 2024. And as a result, SDPL could not achieve the sales target for the month of December 2023. So the company has failed to achieve the sales target. A complaint has been made regarding a shortage of ladies' blouses in as even a single order has not been delivered for a period of 1 month. A complaint has been made regarding a shortage of ladies' blouses as even a single order has not been delivered for a period of 1 month. Customer complaints. It was noted that the order placed by Nugegoda outlet has been delivered to the Hival outlet instead of delivering to Nugegoda outlet. යන්න ඕන එක තැනට නෙමෙයි ගිහලා තියෙන්නේ වෙන තැනකට ගිහලා තියෙන්නේ. This has resulted in excess stock in the Dehivala outlet. Okay. The finance department of SDPL compares goods received note with the supply invoice before making the payment to supplier. So what is the weak point? Three-way matching එක නෑ. Three-way matching කියන්නේ PO equals invoice equal GRN. මේ ආයතන check කරන්නේ invoice එකයි GRN එක ඇතරයි PO එක check කරන්නේ නෑ. Every month supply statement are reconciled by the ISDPL records. හැම මාසෙකම supply payments reconcile කරනවා. Right. Question says state 3 inherent limitations of internal control. So I have discussed about 5. So what are the inherent limitations of internal controls? What is number 1? Cost focused. Number 2, management override in the control. Number 3, collusion. Number 4, human errors. Number 5, internal controls are basically routed through day-to-day transactions. Okay, identified a preventive control and a detective control at the operating of SDPL. So what is a detective control? Detective control is basically what? Every month supply statements are reconciled. The issue එකක් තිබුණොත් ඒක අපිට අහු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Clear? So what is a preventive control? Prevent and detect. What do you mean by preventive control and detective control? So preventive controls are the controls that you are putting in place to prevent an error or a fraud. But detective controls are the controls that you place to detect a fraud or error which has been taken place. So detective control is a supply reconciliation. Difference at the end. So what would be the preventive control? Preventive control means basically, even though you are not checking that with PO, at least you are reconciling the delivery note, sorry, GRN with invoice. That can be considered as a preventive control. Clear, right? Then identify two internal control weaknesses of in the internal control systems. Detail above. So what are the two weaknesses of the internal control? So no proper three-way matching. Three-way matching is ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. Then supplier registration is not done. හරිද? Three-way matching එකේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. So we do have issue with regard to three-way matching. And number two, supply evaluation. Then the question asking how to overcome this. ඒකෙන් කොහොමද overcome කරන්නේ? So how you are going to overcome three-way matching? You need to perform three-way matching somehow. Three-way matching කරන්න ඕනේ. PO එක check කරන්න ඕනේ. GRN එකත් එක්ක ඒක check කරන්න ඕනේ invoice එකත් එක්ක. Supply evaluation has to be done on regular intervals. හරිද? තේරුණාද? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. ඒකට උත්තරය දෙන්න අවශ්‍යයිද? ලියන්න පුළුවන්ද? What do you want? Can manage, right? Okay. Right. So section B also fully completed. Right. Okay, so we'll go to try one question in question section C. Yeah. And section C එක question එකකට යමු. Okay, all of you have my contact numbers, right? So you can talk to me at any given point of time. Note 779 539 969 and note 775 421 927. You can reach me at any given point of time. 24 into 7 into 365. My phones දෙකව 524ව වැඩ. So you can talk to me at any given point of time if you do have any clarifications. Right. Okay, so we'll go to question number 8 in section C, and with that we'll stop so that the other remaining two questions you can carry at home. Right. Okay. You have been assigned as a senior in charge of the audit of ABC Private Limited, a company with 3 subsidiaries which engage in manufacturing, selling of dairy products. ABC Private Limited is a new client of your firm. So what do you mean by new client? So accepting the audit for the first time. So in technical terms, that is an initial engagement. Accountant of the company has been recruited 2 months before the year end. Current accountant is a third person recruited to the post of accountant during the year. Further, he is not professionally qualified person. Big issue. Will this lead to a risk? Make a risk එකකට යන්න පුළුවන් point එකක්ද? Yes. This will be definitely leads to a risk. Marketing manager has stated that the new competitor called XYZ Private Limited has emerged in the industry. XYZ has made a large investment in advertising and promotion, and captured a significant market share. Therefore, the demand for the product of ABC is declining drastically. Again, a risk, loss of a major market. When the related party transactions are validated, RPTR, you have identified that significant amount of intercompany sales have been made closer to the year end. Intercompany sales ගොඩාක් කරලා තියෙනවා closer to the year end. And direct confirmation have been received from the relevant related parties and those agreed with ledger balances. Again, this will lead to risk based on related party transactions. When reviewing the payments, you have found that several significant amounts have been paid to a lawyer. However, supporting documents are available for those payments. However, supporting documents are, sorry, that has to be corrected, not available. Not available for those payments. So this may leads to what? Contingent liability. There is an accounts executive in the accounts department. He is responsible for collecting milk from farmers in the area and making payments to those farmers. What is the issue? Segregation of duties. Clear? Right. So what the question says, what the question again? Explain 4 areas where you see a significant risk. 10 marks. Areas කීයක් තියෙනවද? Areas ම තියෙනවා 5ක්. 1 2 3 4 5. ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ ප්‍රශ්න ඇතුළේම තියෙනවද නැද්ද? ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ ප්‍රශ්න ඇතුළේම තියෙනවා. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Fine. So the other remaining 2 questions, remaining 1.5 questions, you can basically try at home and you can call me if you do have any clarifications. So basically, you have another question in question. You have another part B. They have given you a financial statement of 2 periods, 2024-25 and 2023-24, and they have given you some example as well. Okay, so that you can try this again for 15 marks. And question number 9, again, which goes for almost 15 marks. Sorry, 15 marks, part A, part B for 5 marks, and part C again for 5 marks. So altogether 25 marks each. Right, so someone is asking, can we get the recording of this session as well? I think yes. Who is in the admin? Admin ek kawuda inne? JMC admin කවුද ඉන්නේ?
සර් අපිට මේ දාන්න පුළුවන් මේකට අපි VL pack එකට වගේ update එකක් දාගන්න පුළුවන්.
Okay, okay, fine. Right. Okay, so got it. Any questions up on this? තේරුණාද කරපු ප්‍රශ්න ටික? Okay, someone is asking, sir, can I get the question paper? Yes, of course, it is already uploaded, if I'm not mistaken. Right, so all of you basically bought the vLearning package from us, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Right, anyone else who join with us without purchasing the vLearning package පොඩි wave එකක් දාන්න මේ කියන්නේ වෙන තැනක වෙන ආයතනයක vLearning package එකක් මේ recording pack එකක් ගත්ත කට්ටිය අද මේ class එකට join live petmin okay පුතාට තේරුණාද අර කර ප්‍රශ්න ටික
Yes, sir.
okay cool so you are the one who doing self studies right
Yes, sir.
okay cool right okay so we will stop for the day and since I'm not well so we'll stop for the day and you try the remaining 2 questions so that if you do have any clarifications on those 2 you can text me or you can call me at any given point of time okay
Thank you, sir.
right okay thank you very much thanks a lot and have a good night and be prepared yourself for the exam